Communication skills for PEs. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about why communication is so important and how a project engineer can support that communication on a project site and the ways not to do it. And let me just go ahead and give you a couple of bad examples. If you hear these are red flags. They're at least orange flags or yellow flags, but they're not green flags. If somebody says, a project engineer says, oh, it's on Procore. Wrong answer. It's in 35 different locations on Procore. Or, hey, I'm sure you can find it. Nope, that's a pretty disrespectful answer. Why don't we help the trades find the information? Oh, I told you in an email. Emails are very ineffective from a communication standpoint. In fact, one of the worst forms of communication in the entire industry among all industries. If you want effective coordination, effective communication, you're going to locate what is needed for a work package, for a trade in a zone in one installation work package as you go, clearly defined, highly visual, bulleted without a wall of text. That is 100%. If you have foremen, trades, and workers filtering through past emails and trying to decipher what it means, then you are wasting their time. And yes, AI can consolidate these things, and yes, AI note takers are helping us out, but it needs to go in one location. Let me give you another example. Oh, well, the trade's new, or I told him. That is not communication. Effective communication with a trade partner means A, that the scope, which means the drawings and the specs, are clear, and that you've bought out a trade that can accomplish the work. 2, that you have an executed contract that is fair, that applies risk properly, and that clearly communicates their inclusions and exclusions, that it is in line as much as possible with the schedule of values and how you are breaking out work in comparison to other bidders. Then it leads to an executed contract. That the pre-mobilization meeting or email or phone call has clearly identified what's required of the trade in one location, and that they know that when they arrive at the pre-construction meeting that they need to have this, and this in a very clear format, which means your bid package, your bidding documents are clear and concise. It means that the invitation to the pre-construction meeting is very clear, that the highlighted information from the plans and specs and the owner's requirements and the submittals and any answered RFIs and the owner's top 10 are all clearly distilled down into one location for the pre-con meeting. It means that in the pull plan, the trades know exactly how they fit into the sequence. And it means that we leave the pre-construction meeting with one installation visual in one installation work package for everything that they need. And if a trade asks you a question, you're accessible. If a trade requests information from the owner or the designers, it comes back in a reasonable amount of time. And that you have effective communication systems that don't wait for the batch and queue 24, 48, 72 hour, sometimes 3, 4, 5 day queue of an email. That's not how it works. And we don't win by chucking everything over into Procore. Now, our project management application is really nice to keep things in one location. Yes, but it has to be put in the right batch, the right location in one location on one project management application. So communication channels, you have to focus on clarity. There must be a lot of listening to the trade partner instead of bossing them around in an arrogant way. There must not be a difference between field and office. The office and the field should support each other, which is the job of a project engineer. And the writing must be clear, concise, and accurate, and use verbal communication when necessary, but everything is properly communicated in a visual format when necessary. Meaning, don't trust words, and don't trust words on text. Trust visuals, clear, identify, lean visuals when it comes to communication. And then manage conflict professionally. Assume everybody's doing their best and be a master at emotional intelligence as you're dealing with human beings from job to job. Follow up and make sure you're building trust, not conflict. This is how a project engineer encourages beautiful communication on a job site. I'm going to turn this into a nice little blog post for you so you have it as a reference, but I hope that you've enjoyed this, and I can also link you to some cool guides when it comes to communication as well. There's one book called Coming Up for Air that talks about office operations. I highly recommend it, and there's other books that I'll link you to as well, but I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.